Okay, I did a thing. I panicked and I bought both. And although it may be smart in some universe to keep both, I just cannot justify it. So I have to pick one. But which one? The A7IV or the FX3? So I think for many, this may be an easy question. Are you a hybrid shooter or a photographer? Then pick the A7IV. And as the new 33 megapixel processor that has features even the A1 doesn't have, with questionably as good of low light performance than the FX3 and great feel and build, EVF, like I was shocked how nice it was to hold, especially after the A7C. It seems like the A7IV in almost every spec is better, except for rolling shutter performances and high frame rates, like the 60 uncropped and 120p in 4K, and it's almost $1,300 cheaper. Same 10-bit codecs and breathing compensation. Wait, so then it's settled, right? I'm keeping the A7IV. But, I mean, let me get petty here because this thing is so pretty. Look at her little matte silvery finish. I know she may only be a cinema camera on the surface, but really she's just another mirrorless. She's a freak in the streets, but an A7S III in the sheets. I mean, she's missing like so many fundamental attributes to be called a cinema camera. There's no true 24p, no shutter angle, no transcode, no internal NDs, but she's pretty. So to spend $1,300 more, oh, but you get a top handle with XLR inputs that maybe I'll use someday, but not today. So again, it sounds like the A7IV, right? I mean, maybe. So I have been pining for the FX3 for a while, so much so that I bought skins for my ZV1 and my A7C to appear part of the baby cinema line. My dream was always to make them my A, B, and C. And now I can bring this little nuclear family home finally together at last. But why? Well, first thing, I am keeping my A7C and my ZV1, but my A7C is a fantastic hybrid. I love how compact it is, and to me it is the best all-around camera for YouTube, vlogging, and even client work. And being 8-bit, it's super easy to work with, but I don't think I would ever try to film a proper short film on it. So I wanted the 10-bit, which they both have, and I wanted great low light performances to be able to film without spending much time and effort to have to light the Christ out of a scene. Whereas with either camera, you could get away with it, with minimal lights or practicals or even just the moonlight. So I wanted a cinema camera that, you know, I could afford. And in high frame rates, are they helpful? Yes. Is almost non-existent rolling shutter helpful? I think that's pretty important. I mean, imagine going to a theater and seeing some jello-ass images as the camera pans or tracks any movement. It just wouldn't be tolerated. However, whenever you hear about like what cameras real filmmakers use, it's almost never a mirrorless camera. And although Netflix has approved this sensor in the FX6, they have not approved this camera. So then it's not even a camera recognized by Hollywood insiders as being a proper camera. So I might as well just stick the landing, pick the A7IV for now, and then save up for the FX6 or whatever iteration comes out then. That is a proper cinema camera, right? But then I heard this.
You know, the Sony FX3, for example, you know, this amazing prosumer camera. I'm about to use that on a film I'm shooting in Thailand.
It's so good. It's ridiculous.
I'm about to shoot the entire film, and it's so ridiculous that it's so small, and it's such high ISO for such a small camera.
Now, if you don't know who Greg Fraser is, he is the cinematographer behind Star Wars, Rogue One, Dune, motherfudging Dune, and the Batman. And he thinks the FX3 is a suitable camera for him to use on a feature. Damn, like if it's good enough for him, then case closed, right? The FX3. Well, it's just so damn expensive, and I'm not anywhere near ready for a cinema camera, right? So maybe I should just get the smarter camera that takes equally as good video, is 7K downsampled, the image is sharper and just as good in low light, and then I just don't whip pan and there's no jello. And then I could save the money and almost buy that 51.2 G Master. That'd be a dream. Or I could try to film Dune 2 in my backyard. So, like, what's it going to be, honestly? What do you think? What would you pick? I mean, comment below what you would choose or have chose. Well, I'm going to keep the Well, let me just say this. This is not a review, obviously. I'll be diving deep into one of these cameras as I learn it, so I'll definitely be following up. So, I make content to help creators create with filmmaking tips, tools, and film reviews to not just show you how to use a cinema camera, but why. How you can write a film or deconstruct cinema on your own. Because these cameras are storytelling devices. So it's great to learn which gear you should get, but it's also important to know how to use it to tell a story. So we live in a day and an age where you can own your own cinema camera, write your own screenplay, and shoot a film all by yourself, or just a YouTube video like this one. So if you haven't figured it out, I'm keeping this guy, this tiny Zudo cinema camera, the FX3. So thank you for your time and attention. Consider liking and subscribing if you found this fun or helpful or entertaining even. So I've got tons more filmmaking videos on the way, from screenwriting tips and tools to gear reviews. So thanks again, I love you all. Okay, bye.